All right, this is nutty. A wife scolded her husband after he grounded their 12-year-old daughter for trying to buy sex toys on Amazon. Okay. Jesus Christ, when was I 12? Fuck. Let me think. I don't want to do the math. I don't want to tell you people. It's, woo, am I old? Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I'm not fucking Methuselah old, but I'm getting up there. This is cuckoo. This is cuckoo. Yeah, okay, all right. I'll do it just throw a number out there. Not 100% accurate. Let's say 40 years ago. Let's say 40 years ago, somebody tried to fucking buy a penthouse in one of those fucking gas and sips, right? A 12-year-old. What would happen? You get your ass kicked out. You take it up to the counter. Can I buy this and some Twizzlers? I'm not saying I tried to do that. What's going to happen? Well, you can buy the Twizzlers, but not this. You got to be 18. Yeah. Do you remember the magazines? This was before video, right? Had proliferated, and the only way you could watch a stag film, they called them stag films back then, but they were really porn, was to go to one of these sticky-floored porn theaters that showed films on 9mm, right? And then you'd walk into the gas and sip and all these magazines with the plastic that was oh so difficult to pierce, right? It just slipped right off. It just slipped right off. A lot of these places you go in, you'd have like 6 12-year-olds standing around looking at fucking stag magazines. The cashier didn't give a shit. They don't pay me enough for this. Fucking A. But you couldn't buy them. You couldn't fucking buy them at 12. That's for sure. But nowadays, it's perfectly okay to get sex toys for little kids. Really? I don't understand. What's wrong with this picture? A wife scolded her husband after he grounded the 12-year-old for trying to buy sex toys on Amazon? All right, now first let me say, I'm not a prude, okay? And I understand the 12-year-olds are going to look at porn. Usually it's their parents' porn. My dad had porn? Sure he did. My mother let herself go like every woman lets herself go. She slept in a separate bedroom. I think they went 7 years without having sex. I don't know why the hell he stayed married to her. Probably because he was a big fat slob, douchebag, drunk asshole, and nobody else would want him, right? Which was proven wrong, because when they got divorced eventually, he found some other hag and married her. So, there's a sucker for everybody. There's somebody for everybody, right? She was a sucker, by the way. Bad deal there. He got the better end of that deal. But anyway, yeah, sure, I'm not a prude, okay? 12-year-olds will look at porn, right, in secret, right? You sneak the shit. That shit that's hidden under his mattress or in a, locked foot locker that somehow you're able to get the combination to by, looking in his wallet because he's too fat and stupid to remember it. And then you find the combination in his wallet and you open the foot locker up and there's just this mountain of porn. Woo! Yeah, baby. But you're having to sneak around. Nowadays, this is perfectly okay. Now you got parents buying kids sex toys. What's going on here? Are all you leftist pedophiles? Are you all a bunch of sick fucks that like to diddle kids, and you like the idea of kids having sex, and you like the idea of your daughter banging herself with some big giant black dildo? Does that turn you on, you sicko fucks, you? So in a Reddit post, the husband explains that he caught his daughter looking at vibrators on Amazon. Yeah, Amazon sells that stuff, sure. You can get anything on Amazon. You'll probably buy a fucking jetpack on Amazon. I don't know. All right, let's check this out. I think I queued it up in my pictures. There it is. Okay. It's crazy. It's so crazy. When I came across this, I couldn't believe it. This is nuts. He's a pussy, by the way. Obviously, I would have been filing for divorce that day. So, I don't know what AITA stands for. So, blah, 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 blah. AITA for grounding my 12-year-old daughter because she wants to buy sex toys online and being mad at my wife because she encourages it. So you clearly married a feminist. It's probably one of these male feminists with buyer's remorse. He probably pretended to be all progressive and woke, and I'm a feminist too. I'm for female equality. Yeah, now he's got buyer's remorse. Uh-oh, that might have been a bad strategy to find myself a mate. Maybe I attracted the wrong Wayman. Yeah, too late now, pal. Too late now. If you divorce her now, you're in the hole for 6 years of child support and 12 years. So alimony forever until she gets remarried, which will never happen because she wants that cheddar coming in from you. What an idiot. This is probably in California. I wouldn't be surprised. So background. Earlier this morning, I caught my 12-year-old daughter looking at vibrators on Amazon. Can you imagine that? Your daughter's at the coffee table with her MacBook. I mean, she's at, not the coffee table, but the breakfast table, kitchen table, whatever. We had 2 tables in our house. One we never used. We had we had the family room, kitchen, dining room, and then a living room with just a bunch of fancy furniture that nobody fucking sat on, and a dining room we used like once a year for fucking Christmas. And then we'd go to a relative's house for Thanksgiving. So like half the house we didn't use. Anyway, can you imagine you walk by the kitchen table and you see dildos and vibrators that your 12-year-old is perusing? Doesn't Amazon have something like a child lock thing? Like, you know, if you register and you have to give them your age or something, isn't there just some kind of minimal security even? No, apparently not. But I think you can activate that on your computer, but it doesn't block everything. I mean, it might block porn sites, but Amazon's not a porn site. Well, I mean, in this case, yeah. Well, you probably buy porn on Amazon too, but who buys porn? You watch it online. Anyway, she didn't notice that I was standing behind her because she had her AirPods in listening to music. What's an AirPod? I don't know what an AirPod is. It's little, I guess it's little fucking, the buds that you put in your ears. Maybe it's a wireless deal, Bluetooth. So I had time to look over her shoulder and see what she was doing. When I finally realized what she was looking at, I slammed the MacBook shut. As you should. And by the way, where was your wife? All right, so first of all, good parenting. Both parents have to be on board, okay? And if one makes a decision and it's not like outlandishly wild, the other has to support it, okay? And if they don't agree, they discuss it in private. What you don't do is override the other's decision, especially not in front of the child. That's just going to create a lot of problems. When I finally realized what she was looking at, I shut it, so I took her MacBook away and grounded her for a month. I don't know about that. That might seem a little, a month seems like a long time. I don't know. By the way, how is she buying stuff on Amazon? I'm confused. How does the 12-year-old have an Amazon account? How does the 12-year-old buy shit on Amazon? When I was a kid, I didn't get a fucking allowance. I think I got an allowance for like 3 months. My brother got an allowance. Yeah, he got an allowance. Golden boy. He got a fucking allowance, douchebag. I didn't get an allowance, right? The moment he found some kind of excuse not to revoke it, cheap bastard. Yeah. It wasn't very much, by the way. But yeah, I mean, that was the only money you had. How do kids these days, what are you giving them, these prepaid fucking credit cards and shit? Anyway, about 20 minutes later, my wife told me that she ungrounded her. Wow. Divorce time. Look, now, of course, the problem here is that they didn't sit down and hash out their parenting strategies before they even got married. Look, let me give you some advice to those morons out there who are considering getting married or who actually want to have kids, so you really don't have much of a choice because that's the best way to go about it. If you marry abroad, sit down beforehand and work out everything. Put everything down on fucking paper. How you're going to fucking parent, what is acceptable, what isn't, how you're going to punish the child. If one of us makes a decision, the other will not override it unless it's extremely egregious. And even then, you can't override it. You'd have to get with me and talk to me directly, and then we come to a joint decision. You can't have one child. You can't have the child thinking she can run to one parent and override the other. That just means you are ineffectual as a parent. And what are you doing there? You might as well not even be there. Go twiddle your thumbs for the next 6 years and let your wife raise the kid, which is, by the way, what's happening anyway with these nosy, mouthy, overbearing broads who are marrying men just for the convenience of having a human wallet. Right? You can pay for everything, honey, but you have no say in how our child gets raised. Really? Here's divorce papers, bitch. But this shit should never happen. You should have worked this shit out from the get-go. Everything is a fucking negotiation. So the wife ungrounds her. He has no balls. You already know this guy has no balls. That she's able to just snap her fingers and unground this kid. So she has no respect for you, no consideration for you. Wow. And then told me to give the MacBook back. What are you, her servant? Do you have any balls? What are you, a eunuch? What are you, Varys from Game of Thrones? Even he has more balls than you, pal. She was standing right next to her when she said it. So your daughter's the boss. All your daughter has to do is go to your wife and complain, and because your wife is a liberal nut job who essentially will give your child anything she wants because, liberal! We can't constrain our child in any way, shape, or form. I don't understand how people don't understand what the word liberal means to these people. Liberation. Nothing at all can hold me back. If I want to jump out a 10-story window because I think I can fly, I should be able to do that, and my mommy should let me. Yeah. So they both had their arms crossed. Wow. What a toxic environment for a man. Talk about toxic femininity. I sat there for a while in silence. Pussy. Pussy! Put your foot down. Do you have feet? So you have no balls. You have no feet to put down. Pathetic. Dumbfounded by what my wife was doing. I got to go find this Reddit post. I hope it's still posted so I can maybe send this guy a message and talk to him. This is outrageous. I'm sure lots of media outlets have contacted this guy, though. He's probably on lockdown, you know. So he was dumbfounded by what his wife was doing, and then he says, I refuse to give it back. My wife and I argued about it for about an hour, and then eventually she just gave our daughter the MacBook. Take it back! He just relents! Oh my God, are you a man or a mouse? I wouldn't give it to the wife. I wouldn't give it to my daughter. I would have taken it to work with me. I would have locked it in my desk. I'd have told you to go fuck yourself. I'm right. You're wrong. I'm the boss. You're not the boss. You want to be the boss? Divorce papers, bitch. Fine. You want to give our daughter big black cocks and vibrators and give all the bestiality porn in the world because that's progressivism in a nutshell. Do whatever you want. Fine. I won't be here for you to do that. I am going to leave you. Not trying to control her or anybody else. You're trying to control yourself and what you will and will not tolerate. See how quickly she relents. And if she doesn't, you're better off, pal. You're better off, and at least you have your balls back. It's so pathetic. Pathetic. What a pussy. This is the state of men. This is what I was talking about in my last show about crazy shit. How men have become so emasculated they can't put their feet down. They got no balls. They're not the boss. They're not the king of their own fucking castle. The queen's running around running everything. And she got your balls in her purse. By the way, did they have purses back in medieval times? I don't know. Probably. Yeah. Anyway, he goes on to say, neither of them are speaking to me. That's because you're a wimp. They get to enforce their will upon you and create this new paradigm where they're right and you're wrong, even though you are right. And since you went against them and you're wrong, they get to give you the silent treatment. You don't get to give them the silent treatment because you're the bad guy in their bizarro universe that they've created. Oh, boy, I'd get out of there. But I wouldn't marry a crazy broad like this to begin with. What an idiot. It's probably like that Bill Burr pinhead who married that big, gigantic Nubian Amazon because he was afraid of dying alone. I had to find somebody. I had to have a mulatto baby because, no standards. Yeah. But seriously. All kidding aside, don't get married out of desperation and have some fucking standards, gentlemen. All women do is talk about gotta be 6'4", 190 pounds, have a big cock, make $2 million or more a year, drive a Lamborghini. What do you got to bring to the table, honey? I have a well-used vagina, but I haven't popped any babies out yet. So it's still pretty tight. How about that? It's only 3.5 billion of those. Got anything else? Virtues, perhaps? Nah. So they're allowed to have standards, but you're not. Right, this guy clearly had no standards, wasn't even considering standards or virtues when he married this broad. Ay. All right. What a crazy story. What a crazy fucking story. So the man's wife and daughter stopped speaking to him altogether, and he ended up sleeping on the couch. I guess the reporter that published this story talked to him. My wife completely punked, said the man. She punked out on me in front of my child, and now it's going to be impossible to discipline her. Am I the asshole here? No, you're not. Your wife is the asshole. By the way, as an aside, has anybody ever noticed that nobody calls women these things? Nobody calls women assholes. They call them bitches and shit like that. Words that women say are unfair, stereotypical pejoratives that men shouldn't use, just like the word cunt. But I don't see them talking about the words that are almost always used with men that can apply equally to women. Your wife is an asshole. In yet another twist, one of the top this is great. One of the top responses to the original post agreed with the actions of the wife. Listen to this. This response is out of this world. It was too big for me to post, too wide, the formatting. It would have covered my face, so I'll just read it. YTA. What does that mean, YTA? Can't you... So you type a 300-word fucking post, but you have to do this shit with acronyms and stuff. Come on. Sex toys are safe and a normal way for someone to explore sexual pleasure. Really? Really? Wow, geez. I wish my mom and dad would have got me one of those blow-up sex dolls because, there weren't any big, giant silicone dolls when I was a little kid. Yeah, that would have been great. That wouldn't have been contributing to the delinquency of a minor, even though when I was growing up, if you gave kids porn, you went to jail. If you gave them sex toys, you went to jail. It was a crime. It's called contributing to the delinquency of a minor, among other things. Decency acts. What about decency? No, we're liberated. God. Oh, my Lord. Excuse me. All right. 12 is a totally normal age to be masturbating. Okay, I'll agree with that, but that's with your hand. Not with a big cock. It's a normal age to be curious, so what's your point? That doesn't equate to buying sex toys on Amazon. It's a normal age to start looking at porn. No! That doesn't mean it's good. And by the way, I don't necessarily think it's a good idea that kids that were at my age when I started looking at porn should be looking at porn. I don't think it's necessarily a good thing. Normal, maybe, but is it good for you? Slamming her laptop shut and grounding her like that is only going to shame your daughter. What is it with these people? You can't be shamed. There's no shame. No shame. Shame doesn't serve any purpose at all. Yes, you shame your daughter about her sexual feelings and permanently damage your relationship with your daughter. Yeah, because not wanting her to be banging boys at age 12 and popping out a fucking baby that I'll have to pay for the next 18 years and it'll ruin her life. Oh yeah, that's not reasonable at all. That's not a reasonable concern. What you did as a father was harmful. Fuck you probably some big fat land wheel radical feminist man-hating bitch who would never in a million years find a husband that's saying this shit. Your daughter now knows not only that she can't trust you with intimate issues. I don't want my kid coming to me talking about getting buffed, but that you want to sexually repress her. You got that fucking right. You got that right. 12-year-olds need to be repressed sexually. I don't need no fucking 12-year-old girl banging boys. Learn some discipline and self-control. Get a fucking hobby. Join the Girl Scouts. Sell some cookies. You need to apologize to her. What? Fuck you, land whale bitch. You need to make sure she knows that nothing she was doing is wrong or dirty. You're mad that your wife punked you in front of your daughter. This is somebody that doesn't have kids, doesn't understand kids, has never even thought critically, logically, reasonably about how you would raise a kid. You grounded your daughter and took her laptop away. Ooh, we can't do anything to the precious children. Never, ever punish them. Yeah. Grow up to be entitled cunts like you fat pig. Yes. So it goes on to say, if I was your wife, I would have talked to you separately about it. Before, even this big fat land whale agrees that was not right to essentially confront him in front of the daughter. Before assuring my daughter that she is not grounded. I'm still going to counterman the man, though. I'm going to countermand him because, of course, his role, which should be 50-50, an equal partner, has no say. He has no say. It's my say that matters. Don't marry a feminist. Don't marry a feminist. Don't date a feminist. Don't pretend to be a feminist to get with a feminist, okay? They're altogether evil. You totally fucked up, man. This ain't 1950. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. 1950s were a wholesome time, okay? The country was in every metric better off in the 1950s. What's your problem with the 1950s, bitch? I didn't get to ride the cock carousel because there was shame. Yeah, we need more shame. Might have less big fat land whales like you sucking down enough food to feed half a dozen fucking starving kids in Africa. If your 12-year-old wants to masturbate and have a vibrator, you don't need any lessons in masturbation, okay? You're going to find it out pretty naturally, normally on your own when you're taking a fucking bath and, ooh, I'm washing there and it feels good. Do that some more. It's not complicated. But there's a difference between discovering things naturally and using your hands to buying a big black cock. Then you have to support her. No, I don't. Who says? Where are you getting this stuff? Your gender studies class? If you're uncomfortable with talking to your 12-year-old, okay, what the hell does talking to my 12-year-old about sex? How is that equivalent to not wanting her to buy a sex toy? False equivalency argument, you fat cow. Ay. Your kids are going to grow up. It's a thing. Well, they're not grown yet. It's my house. So I have the fucking say. Oh, no, I don't. I only pay the bills. Apparently, this broad doesn't seem to think that the person that pays the bills has any say. Well, of course. You're a man. What a man has to say means nothing when it comes to a Wayman. Meanwhile, we sit around talking about how evil men are, toxic masculinity, how a man should really be, writing whole books on how men should be, making fucking Gillette commercials. That Gillette commercial was made, by the way, by a rabid, anti-male feminist woman. Yeah, they get to sit around all day and yammer about how men should be and then impose that view on the world. But us men, we can't have an opinion on Wayman. Oh, okay. That seems real equal. It's time to get used to it and accept and embrace the fact that your daughter is a sexual being. While there are scary things about it, there are also wonderful things. Wonderful things that I don't want to have to deal with, listen to, or I'm not going to explore these things. Let my fucking wife deal with that. You ladies want to keep things in-house, keep it in-house. I'll talk to her about the male side. Sure. But I'm not going to buy her dildos. You'll get to see her grow a sense of humor and opinions. Yeah, well, I bet you need a sense of humor, honey. You ain't got no man. You got to have a real good sense of humor about life. Not to kill yourself. Don't fuck that up now by ruining your relationship with her and making her feel like her desires are dirty. Oh, God. It has nothing to do with dirty. Because everything's appropriate, right? Everything's right. There's nothing that's inappropriate. Nothing that's inappropriate. You even got the fucking mainstream media saying that when some 50-year-old broad has relations with an 11-year-old, that it's having sex, and they don't use the word rape, which is what it really is. Oh, it's acceptable. It's just this backwards, traditional, old white man culture that sees that as evil. We'll change that eventually. Yeah. This is perfectly acceptable. Not. Oh, boy. This is where we're going. This shit gets me so angry. I wish we could go back to the days of rotary phones and no internet. Oh, and social media was non-existent, right? Social media was you talk to your neighbors, and you know your neighbors, right? And you have a sense of community. Yeah, I can't have that. No. All right. Ridiculous. All right, let me close that out. Buying 12-year-old sex toys. Oh, my God. Yeah, because that's normal, right? That's totally normal. There's no such thing as normal. Normal is whatever you want normal to be.